The team investigating Malaysia Airlines flight MH17, which was downed over eastern Ukraine in 2014, has updated the media on its findings, admitting they coincide with those of a blogger. Let's get more now from our correspondent Daniel Hawkins. Dan, what's come out of today's update? What are we learning?
Well, the interesting thing, this is the first time that the Dutch Safety Board has actually spoken of concrete and exact blame attribution here. Of course, back in 2015, the Dutch Safety Board, according to their investigation, confirmed that the MH17 airliner was hit by a Buk missile. That theory was also confirmed in September 2016 by the Joint Investigation Team, a team made up of international aviation experts. The Russian side, of course, has denied this consistently, including that 2016 report that was denied by Dmitry Peskov, the presidential spokesman, for lack of evidence. This statement from the Ministry of Defence we have in response to the board has said that the position remains clear, that no anti-aircraft weaponry, no anti-aircraft vehicles of the type allegedly used in this downing crossed the Russian border, and that the Russian side can prove this through providing radar data showing that no launches took place from the eastern side, and indeed witness statements as well, many of which the Ministry of Defence has said were given both to Russian and international media, and said that any launch, if it did take place, took place from the western controlled side of the Donbass, which at the time, of course, and still is a very much active war zone. This is what the Ministry of Defence had to say.
We are concerned that the Dutch investigation decided to base their investigation on images from social media that were edited. What's more, a number of images that were used at the briefing were prepared by the Ukrainian security services and were shown on a number of occasions by Bellingcat. We want to draw to everyone's attention that the Dutch investigators have ignored witness accounts. Many eyewitnesses saw the tragedy themselves. They are not images from social media. They are real people who gave their testimonies on record to the European and American media.
As we said earlier, of course, the previous investigations by the Dutch Safety Board, by the JIT, focused very much on reconstructing what happened to the plane on its journey from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur, how it was brought down, what equipment was used, not so much on blame attribution precisely. And now the team has said they do have persons of interest ranging from several dozen to hundreds that they could be now looking into. This is what the JIT had to say on the new developments.
We realized that the Bellingcat investigation team already reached the same conclusions and published them. We, as the Joint Investigation Team, have our own independent investigation, and the conclusions we draw from it must be based on legal and convincing evidence which will stand in a courtroom.
Now, much of that evidence, of course, as cited by the Russian Ministry of Defence just earlier in this report, was based on organisations such as Bellingcat, an organisation effectively of citizen journalism using open source data found on the internet, photos publicly available from social media, etc. A lot of that evidence was taken into account both by the Dutch Safety Board investigation and the JIT as well, while according to the Russian Ministry of Defence, at least from what they're saying, much of their evidence was either discounted or not given due care and attention in coming to those conclusions. Let's take a closer look at what evidence exactly was used and where it came from that Bellingcat organisation.
Ed Higgins, who runs the website Bellingcat, is a laid-off admin worker who made a name for himself by analysing weapons used in the Syrian conflict.
Never been to Syria, doesn't speak a word of Arabic, and he conducts his profound research from the comfort of his armchair in his home.
Higgins himself admits he has no experience in the field.
Before the Arab Spring, I knew no more about weapons than the average Xbox owner. I had no knowledge beyond what I'd learned from Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo.
His tools of choice for uncovering global conspiracies: YouTube and Google Earth.
Billboards in the area kind of looked the same, but it wasn't really, this isn't enough to say this is definitely the same area. You could see the path and the grass, but again, it's not a great match. So we know the Russians lied.
and the media loves him.
Elliot Higgins, a
British blogger who's
been analysing the pictures of the wreckage.
Thank you for joining the program.
But some are questioning his methods, like the developer of the photo analysis program which Bellingcat used to claim Moscow faked satellite images. And image forensics experts aren't fans either.
What Bellingcat is doing is nothing more than reading tea leaves. Error-level analysis is a method used by hobbyists.
But fellow obsessives are ecstatic about scrutinising Bellingcat's analysis. Bloggers claim he's showing photos of two different Buk missile systems in an attempt to prove the weapon came from Russia. They say the one pictured in Russia is a newer model because it features a recent modification. As for the claim that no Ukrainian Buks were in the area at the time of the crash, well, fellow bloggers dug up screenshots from Ukrainian TV, apparently showing a Buk missile system, complete with radar, in the area just a few days before the tragedy.
Well, we have been in touch with Bellingcat, which stated that the Russian government and media have resorted to conspiracy theories, false claims and fake evidence to cover up the downing of MH17. Bellingcat then went on to praise its own probe as thorough and accurate. Well, historian and East Europe expert Martin Macaulay believes the MH17 investigation is seriously flawed and after 4 years has not reached any conclusive results.
Two factors which are very important. One is the investigators did not have access to the site where the Buk missile, if it was a Buk surface-to-air missile, was fired. They haven't had access to that site. And secondly, the investigators said they haven't released all the information that they possess. So therefore, they're holding back information. So therefore, what we can say is, if you like, it's like a 400-meter race. Perhaps we've done 300 meters, 350 meters, but we still have the final lap, perhaps the half lap to go. We don't know what the answer to the question is, who fired the missile and why was it fired. We don't know that yet.